Chapter 19. The Most High enlightens the priest concerning the spotless innocence of Most Holy Mary. She herself is informed of the approaching death of her mother, Saint Anne, and is present at this event. The Lord did not sleep, nor did he slumber during the clamors of his beloved spouse Mary, although he pretended not to hear them, delighting in the prolonged exercise of her sufferings, which occasioned so many glorious triumphs and the admirations and praises of the supernal spirits. The smoldering fire of the persecution already mentioned continued unabated, in order that the Phoenix Mary might many times renew herself from the ashes of her humility, and in order that her most pure heart be regenerated over and over again to new estates and conditions of divine grace. But when the opportune time arrived for putting an end to the blind envy and jealousy of those ensnared maidens, and in order that their petulance might not altogether discredit her who was to be the excellence of nature and grace itself, the Lord spoke to the priest in his sleep and said to him, "My servant Mary is pleasing in my eyes, and she is my perfect and my chosen one. She is entirely innocent of anything of which she is accused." The same revelation was given to Anne, the instructress of the maidens. That morning the priest and the instructress conferred with each other about the message which they both had received. Being now certain, they repented of the deceit into which they had been led, and called the Princess Mary, asking her pardon for having given credit to the false report of the girls, and offering her all the reparation necessary to defend her from the persecution and the sufferings consequent upon it. She that was the mother and origin of humility, after listening to their words, answered the priest and the instructress, "My superiors, I am the one that deserves your reprehensions, and I beseech you, do not hold me unworthy of undergoing them, since I ask for them as most necessary to me. The intercourse with my sisters, the other maidens, is most highly prized by me, and I do not wish to be deprived of it through my fault, since I owe them so much for having borne with me, and as a return for that benefit, I desire to serve them more faithfully. Nevertheless, if you command me anything else, I stand prepared to obey your will." This answer of the Most Holy Mary still more comforted and consoled the priest and the instructress, and they approved of her humble petition. But from that time on, they attended to her and observed her with new reverence and affection. The most humble maiden begged to kiss the hand of the priest and of the matron, asking for their blessing according to her custom. With this they dismissed her. Just as the parched desire of the thirsty for drink is increased at the sight of clear water withdrawn beyond their reach, so was the heart of Mary our mistress, filled with yearning regret for the exercise of suffering. Thirsting and burning for the divine love, she feared lest, though through the watchful care of the priest and the instructress, she should from thenceforward be deprived of the treasure of affliction. Seeking solitude and speaking with God alone, she addressed him. "Why, O Lord and most beloved Master, such severity with me? Why such a long absence and such a forgetfulness of her who cannot live without thee? And if in the protracted solitude and separation from thy sweet and loving presence I was consoled by the pledges of thy affection, given to me in the afflictions and sufferings for thy sake, how shall I be able to live now in my dereliction without this solace? Why, O Lord, dost thou so soon withdraw thy beneficent hand from me in refusing me this favor? Who besides thyself could have changed the sentiments of the priests and of the instructress? But I do not merit the benefit of their charitable reprehensions, nor am I worthy to bear affliction. For I am equally unworthy of thy most loving visit and delightful presence. If I have not been able to please thee, my Father and Lord, I will make amends for my negligence. There can be no relief from the depression of my spirit as long as the joy of thy presence is wanting to my soul. But I continue to hope that thy divine pleasure, O my spouse, be fulfilled in all things. The enlightenment of the priests and the instructress concerning Mary abated the persecutions of the maidens. The Lord also restrained them and prevented the demon from inciting them thereafter. But the time during which he absented himself and during which he hid himself from this heavenly spouse lasted, wonderful to relate, 10 years, although the Most High interrupted this absence a few times by allowing the veil to fall from his face for the relief of his beloved. But it was not often that he dispensed this favor during that time, and he did it with less lavishness and tenderness than in the first years of her childhood. This absence of the Lord was ordained for our Queen in order that she might, by actual exercise of all perfection, be made worthy for the dignity to which she was destined by the Most High. For if she had continually enjoyed the vision of His Majesty in the manner described by us in the 14th chapter of this book, she could not have suffered according to the common order of a mere creature.